Hello once again. Finally, huh? I'd like to thank you for your patience and for joining me for this episode of Burn Friday Burn. I've been trying to accomplish something within myself. I'll just put it that way. I haven't quite achieved my goal yet. So I'll just say, bear with me if you will. Sometimes we try to make a bargain with God, and we shouldn't. We should never try to bargain with God. We shouldn't try to tell God that if He will do this or that for us, we will do this or that for Him. That's not the way it should be. He's God. We're not. Someone who radiates the light of Christ is someone who forgets all about the consequences of worshiping God. So, how about we forget? No, as cool as it is today, we're not going to forget the consequences of getting the burn started. So, I'll be right back. Well, well, howdy. I had to go get me another layer after getting that burn started. This winter wind is blowing, and the little old weather station that comes across my phone said that it's like 32 degrees but feels like 25. And I mean, the sun's shining, but it ain't very warm. So, let me ask you a question. Why do you serve God? You know, we have, according to the scriptures, an adversary, the devil. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8 tells us, be sober and watchful, because your adversary, the devil, walks around as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Resist him firmly in faith, knowing that the same afflictions are experienced by your brothers and sisters throughout the world. So, my brothers and sisters, throughout all the world, there is someone I have used as a reference quite a bit because he's one of my favorite Old Testament folks. I look to Job a lot for someone who has suffered greatly and continued his relationship with God as though nothing affected it. Let me read a short passage out of the book of Job, chapter 1. Job, chapter 1, starting with verse 6 and going through verse 11. Now there was a day when the sons of God came and to present themselves before the Lord, and the adversary also came among them. And the Lord said to the adversary, from where have you come? Then the adversary answered the Lord, saying, from roaming the earth, and from walking up and down on it. And the Lord said to the adversary, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and an upright man who fears God and avoids evil? Verse 9. Then the adversary answered the Lord, saying, has Job feared God for nothing? Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But stretch out your hand now and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face. Now he said, has Job feared God for nothing? What did I ask? Why do you serve God? Well, the adversary said that accused Job of serving God because God protected him and blessed him greatly. I said a person that radiates the light of Christ is one that forgets about the consequences of following God. Well, I believe Job was such a person. We know from reading the scriptures that God will allow things to happen in our lives that affect us in such a way to where the truth will come out. What's in our heart? How, why, and who we serve. I think that a person that has a joy-filled heart is someone that doesn't care if happiness happens because of their obedience to God. When God leads, we follow, no matter. And such a person is someone that does it simply because it's the right thing to do. Not because God is going to do something for us in return for our obedience. We should bow before God not because He opens His purse for us, but simply because He's God. Like I said, we don't worship God, we don't serve God because He's promised to pour out blessings in our lives. We serve God and let the rewards take care of themselves. You know, just like Job did. I said I was going to read another passage, another verse at least. After the adversary had stricken Job, taken all that he had, chapter 1, verse 20. Then Job stood up, tore his robe, and shaved his head. He fell to the ground and worshipped. He said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." In all this, Job did not sin. He did not accuse God of wrongdoing. When something terrible happens in your life, do you accuse God of doing it? Do you blame God? We shouldn't. So, let's call the adversary, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him, let's call him a cynic because of the remark he made. His cynical question, does Job worship God for nothing? And you know, he has the same freedom to make that accusation against us. Do you worship God for nothing? Or is it because He gave you this or He gave you that? Or did you worship God before and afterwards? God is really looking for people who will do right, not because of what He does for them, but simply because it's the right thing to do. God is gathering to Himself people who will bow before Him and put their lives at His disposal. Not because they're always feeling spiritual, but because He's God. He gave us life, and He can allow it to be taken. So, why do you worship God? Ask yourself. Do what's right, worship God, serve God because He's God, because it's the right thing to do. And if you want to, you can join me again next time for another Burn Friday Burn. May the Lord bless and keep you.